If you are a woman over 60, I want you to listen very carefully during these first few minutes, because there is a strong chance that every morning when you look in the mirror, you are seeing a face that no longer looks like it did a few years ago. Even though you haven't changed your skincare products, you haven't neglected your routine, and you haven't done anything wrong, you can probably see it clearly. The jawline looks softer. The cheeks seem to be slipping downward. Your face feels heavier in the morning and looks tired even when you've slept enough. And then a familiar thought appears. It must be age. Maybe after 60, this is just something I have to accept. But the truth is, what is making your face sag faster is not just age alone. There is one very small habit that most women do every single day, completely unconsciously, and that no one ever warns them about. It's not food. It's not skincare. It's not genetics. It's a daily lifestyle habit that is quietly pulling your face downward, little by little, day after day. What makes it dangerous is this. This habit doesn't cause pain, doesn't cause irritation, and doesn't leave immediate signs. But for skin after 60, when collagen is already weakened, when estrogen no longer protects the supporting tissues, and when the skin can no longer bounce back like it used to, every repeated pressure leaves a lasting consequence. Many women I've spoken with have said the exact same thing to me. I don't understand why my face is sagging so fast, even though I take good care of my skin. And what shocks them the most is realizing that they don't need another new cream. They don't need an expensive procedure, but they need to understand what is pulling their face down every single day. In today's video, I will show you what that habit is, why it is especially dangerous for women over 60, and most importantly, how to stop this sagging process before it becomes irreversible. If you've ever felt that your face is aging too fast, this video is for you. Before we talk about that specific habit, there is one very important question. I want you to ask yourself, have you noticed that, in just the past few years, your face has changed faster than it did in the 10 years before that? Not a sudden change, not overnight, but a very clear feeling that with each passing year, your face seems to decline just a little faster. Have you ever wondered, why is it that with the same daily habits, the same skincare routine, after 60, your skin can no longer tolerate things the way it used to? Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, I haven't done anything differently, so why is my face sagging so much faster? The answer lies in biology, not in a lack of effort on your part. After 60, a woman's body enters a very different phase. Estrogen, the hormone that once quietly protected your skin, no longer sends strong signals to collagen-producing cells. What does that mean? It means new collagen fibers are produced in smaller amounts, they are thinner, and they are weaker. You may not be able to see collagen, but you feel it in how your skin responds every day. Do you notice that your skin creases more easily when you sleep on your side? That your cheeks no longer feel as full as before, even though your weight hasn't changed? That your jawline is less defined in the morning? That is not your imagination. When collagen declines, the skin loses its ability to bounce back. After being pulled, compressed, or exposed to repeated pressure. And there is one more thing that very few women are ever told. After 60, blood circulation slows down. Lymphatic drainage becomes less efficient. Fluid accumulates more easily in the face and neck. Have you ever noticed that your face feels heavier in the morning, but looks slightly more defined by the afternoon? That is a sign that your skin and soft tissues are being under pressure for too long before your body can release it. The problem is this. When this happens day after day, the supporting structures of the face are quietly stretched. And unlike younger skin, skin after 60 cannot fully tighten back on its own. That is why a habit that was completely harmless at 40 becomes a structural disruptor of the face. At 60, You haven't done anything wrong. You are simply living in a body that has changed without ever being shown how to adapt to that change. And that is exactly why the same daily habit, after 60, causes the face to sag much faster than before. Now, I want you to pause for a moment and think about a very ordinary day in your life. In the morning, you lower your head to read messages. During the day, you look down at your phone, a book, or work with your hands in front of your body. In the evening, you lower your head again while watching videos, reading the news, or relaxing before bed. There is nothing wrong with this. Almost all of us do it. But what very few women are ever told is this: after 60, the repeated habit of lowering your head and tilting your face downward each day becomes one of the strongest pulling forces that makes the face sag faster. Not once, not for an hour, but hundreds, thousands of times a day, quietly, without pain, without warning. When your head tilts downward, gravity no longer pulls the skin backward, but instead pulls the entire soft tissue of the face downward. With younger skin, collagen is strong enough to maintain structure. But for women over 60, when collagen has become thinner and weaker, this pulling force is not fully reversed. Do you realize this? Those very small moments, when you don't even think you're doing anything to your skin, are actually when the face is affected the most. Have you ever wondered why? Your jawline is gradually fading, even though your weight hasn't changed. Your cheeks look lower in photos. Your face seems to be falling downward, especially in the lower half. That's not because you're neglecting skincare. It's because every day, your face is exposed to repeated biological pulling forces. That skin, after 60, no longer has the strength to resist. And the troubling part is this: this habit causes no discomfort at all, so you never realize that it's leaving long-term consequences. Many women tell me, if I had known this earlier, I would have paid attention to it long ago. If at this point, you're starting to see yourself in what I've described, let me know by leaving a simple comment below. Just write, I have this habit too. And if you're watching this video in the United States, I'd really love to know. How old are you, and which state are you watching from? I read every single comment, and what you share helps me better shape future videos, specifically for women over 60. In the next section, I'll show you exactly how this habit affects each area of the face, why the jawline fades first, why the cheeks sag faster, and why the lower face is always the first place to age. And once you understand that, you'll realize something important. The problem isn't that your skin is too far gone, but that you were never given the right guidance. There is one area of the face that almost every woman over 60 notices changing very early. That area is the jawline. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror in the morning and felt that your face looks softer, with less definition between the face and the neck? Have you noticed that? Your jawline looks more defined in the afternoon, but fades again every morning? This is not subjective. This is a very real biological response. The jawline is where soft tissue is directly affected by gravity. Every time your head tilts downward or forward, when this habit repeats day after day, the skin and supporting tissue around the jaw are stretched downward, but not fully lifted back up. At 40, collagen is still strong enough to help the skin bounce back after being pulled. But after 60, when collagen is thinner and estrogen no longer protects skin structure, each downward pull leaves behind a small mark. The problem is, those marks don't disappear. They accumulate, day after day, until one day you realize that your jawline is no longer as sharp as it used to be. There is another factor that causes this area to be affected first. That factor is lymphatic drainage. The jaw and neck area is where fluid easily accumulates, especially when the head is tilted downward for long periods. Have you ever noticed that, in the morning, your jaw area feels slightly heavy, almost mildly puffy, but by the end of the day it looks more defined. That's a sign that fluid has been pooling for too long, forcing the skin tissue to stretch to contain it. When this happens frequently, the skin gradually loses its ability to hold its shape, and the jawline is where it becomes most visible. What's important to understand is this. This is not fat gain. It's not weight gain. And it's not because you're caring for your skin incorrectly. This is the result of repeated pulling forces in a body that no longer has the same ability to repair itself as before. And if you're wondering, then why do my cheeks also look like they're sliding downward? We'll talk about that in the very next section. Now, I want you to think about a very familiar detail. When you look in the mirror or review recent photos of yourself, do you feel that your cheeks no longer sit in the right place like they used to? Not completely hollow, not deeply wrinkled, but a subtle feeling that the cheeks look lower, as if the face is slowly sliding downward. Have you ever wondered, I eat normally, my weight has stayed stable, so why do my cheekbones look less full? The answer is not fat. It lies in the supporting structure beneath the skin. The cheek area is where soft tissue depends heavily on collagen and elastin to maintain its natural position. After 60, as these collagen fibers become thinner, the cheeks become more prone to shifting whenever they are exposed to pulling forces. And it is precisely the daily habit of lowering the head and tilting the face forward that creates a very specific kind of force. Not a sudden, strong pull, but a slow, steady, repeated pull, like a thin piece of fabric. If you gently stretch it every day, it won't tear right away, but over time, it will sag. Have you noticed this? The cheeks do not sag instantly. They sag quietly. You only begin to notice when you see cheekbones looking less defined in photos, the face appearing longer, the fold from the nose to the mouth becoming more visible. What surprises many women is this. This is not general aging. It is a response of soft tissue to repeated biological pressure. Once the supporting tissue slides downward, the skin above it has no choice but to follow. And after 60, the skin no longer has enough elasticity to pull everything back into its original position. That is why so many women say, I feel like my face looks sadder, even though my mood hasn't changed. It's not your expression. It's the shape of the face, changing in a downward direction. If at this point you're recognizing changes that feel very similar to your own, take a moment to listen to what comes next, because there is another area of the face directly affected by this downward shift, and it is the area that makes the face look noticeably older. There is something many women over 60 have said to me, and you may have thought this too. I don't smile more than I used to, so why are my nasolabial folds deepening so quickly? This is a very common misunderstanding. Nasolabial folds do not deepen simply because you smile. They deepen because the underlying support structure of the face has changed. Imagine the face like a tent. When the upper support poles weaken, the fabric folds inward at the center. After 60, the cheeks, once the main support of the face, begin to slide downward. And when that happens, the skin is forced to fold at the nasolabial line. Have you noticed? These folds are often most visible in the morning when the face still feels heavy and fluid hasn't fully drained yet. By the end of the day, they may soften slightly, but they never completely disappear. That's because nasolabial folds are not just surface wrinkles. They are signs of tissue shifting from above, and the daily habit of lowering the head and tilting the face forward accelerates this process. Each time the face is pulled downward, force accumulates in the mid-face. With younger skin, this force can be dispersed, but with skin after 60, when collagen is thinner and elasticity is reduced, that force gets trapped in the nasolabial folds. Have you ever noticed that when you gently lift the cheeks with your hand, the nasolabial folds immediately soften? That tells us the problem is not the surface of the skin, but the direction in which the soft tissue is moving. And this is why so many creams, no matter how expensive, cannot truly erase these folds. Because they do not change. The biological pulling forces acting on the face every single day. If at this point you're beginning to understand that, Nasolabial folds deepen, not because of facial expressions, but because the face is being pulled downward in a very quiet way. There is one more area that is often overlooked, yet plays a critical role in making the entire face look older much faster. We'll talk about that area. In the next section, there is one area of the body that many women over 60 care for far less than they realize. It's the neck and the lower face. Have you ever noticed that when you wear a wide neck top or look at yourself from a side angle, your neck looks much older than your face? Not because you forgot to apply cream, not because you're doing skincare incorrectly, but because the neck is the area that experiences the most constant pulling force. Every time you tilt your head downward, when the head leans forward, the full weight of the head creates a strong pulling force on the neck and the lower face. In younger women, the skin of the neck is still thick enough and elastic enough to tolerate this force. But after 60, when collagen declines significantly, the skin of the neck becomes thinner, weaker, and much more prone to permanent stretching. Have you noticed that? Neck skin wrinkles more easily, sags more easily, and is far harder to recover than facial skin? That's because when the neck is pulled downward, it doesn't age in isolation. It pulls the entire lower face with it. The jawline loses its support. The cheeks slide lower. The nasolabial folds deepen. Everything is connected, like a chain reaction. And what accelerates this process is the habit of lowering the head, repeatedly every single day. Not once, not for a few minutes, but for many hours a day, over many years. Have you noticed this? Many women try very hard to lift the face, but completely overlook the neck. It's like trying to fix the top of a curtain, while the bottom is being pulled downward. After 60, if the neck is not properly protected, the entire face will be pulled downward with it, no matter how carefully you care for facial skin. And this is the key point. I want you to remember, the face does not sag simply because the skin becomes weaker. It sags because the underlying support system is no longer being protected properly. In the next section, I will show you why many of the things women are trying to do to lift the face do not produce lasting results, and sometimes even make the skin weaker. At this point, you may be thinking, then I just need to massage more, pull the skin upward more often, or find a stronger way to lift my face. That's a completely understandable thought, and it's exactly what many women over 60 are doing, with good intentions for their skin. But I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself this. Have you ever massaged very consistently, only to notice over time that your skin looks thinner, sags more easily, and no longer holds its shape the way it used to? Have you ever pulled your skin upward every night, only to wake up the next morning with a heavy-looking face and a still blurred jawline? This isn't because you didn't do enough. It's because the biology of skin, after 60, does not respond well to strong force. After 60, skin doesn't just lack collagen, it also loses its ability to tolerate stretching. The remaining collagen fibers are thinner, more easily overstretched, and very slow to recover. After repeated pulling, when you massage too aggressively or repeatedly pull the skin against gravity, you unintentionally create something called mechanical fatigue, the mechanical exhaustion of skin tissue. Like an old rubber band, the harder you pull it, the faster it loses elasticity. Have you noticed this? Right after massage, the face may look more flushed, but a few hours later, the skin looks softer, looser, and lacks natural lift. That's because strong massage only affects the surface, while the real problem lies in the underlying support structure that is already weakened. And when you pull the skin in a body that no longer has enough collagen to support it, that pulling force doesn't disappear. It is recorded in the tissue. This is why many dermatologists in the United States do not recommend aggressive massage or repeated skin-pulling techniques for older women. Not because massage is bad, but because it's the wrong timing, the wrong intensity, and the wrong target. After 60, the skin does not need to be pulled more. It needs reduced pressure, reduced underlying inflammation, and support for recovery, in alignment with its biology. And unfortunately, many popular facelifting methods do the exact opposite. In the next section, I will show you what truly helps skin after 60 not by pulling the face upward, but by preventing it from being pulled downward in the first place. And once you understand this principle, everything becomes much gentler and far more sustainable. Everything becomes much gentler from here. After understanding why aggressive skin pulling or trying to lift the face can backfire after 60, a very natural question comes up. So what can I actually do to help my face sag less? The answer may surprise you. Because the solution is not about pulling the skin upward. It's about preventing the face from being pulled downward in the first place. After 60, the most important thing is not creating more force, but reducing the forces, acting on your face every day. Think of the face as a structure under constant pressure. When pressure is reduced, the tissue has a chance to rest. And when tissue can rest, the body can repair. The first thing that truly makes a difference is awareness of daily posture. Not so you live tensely, not so you control every movement, but so you avoid letting your face be pulled downward for long, continuous periods of time. Simply reducing extended periods of looking downward already gives the soft tissue relief from constant strain. The second thing is supporting gentle drainage and circulation, not aggressive massage. After 60, the face often looks heavy, not because of fat, but because of fluid buildup. When fluid circulates more effectively, the skin is less stretched, and the supporting tissue doesn't have to work as hard. That's why gentle, slow, correctly directed movements are more effective than forceful techniques. The third thing, and the most commonly overlooked, is protecting the collagen you still have instead of forcing the body to produce more collagen at all costs. After 60, collagen does not need constant stimulation. It needs protection from inflammation, from mechanical stress, and from habits that quietly weaken it over time. When pressure is reduced, when underlying inflammation settles, and when tissue is supported properly, the face begins to look different, not 20 years younger, but lighter, more refined, and most importantly, no longer sliding downward as quickly as before. Many women tell me, I realized I didn't need to do more. I just needed to do things more correctly. And that is exactly what Skin After 60 has been quietly waiting for. The next important step is setting realistic expectations. Skin After 60 is not designed to turn back time, and that is not a failure. What is realistic is slowing the sagging process, maintaining the structure you have, and helping the face look less tired over time. You'll know you're on the right path when you notice very subtle changes. Your face feels lighter in the morning. The jawline doesn't disappear as much. The cheeks look more stable in photos, and the nasolabial folds stop deepening so quickly. That is how your skin says to you, thank you for reducing the pressure on me. And the most important thing I want you to remember is this. Your face does not need to be fixed. It needs to be protected. If you see yourself in what you've just heard, leave a comment below. Simply share your age and the state you're watching from. I read every single comment, and those shared experiences help me create future videos that are better suited for women over 60 just like you. If this video was helpful, please subscribe to the channel so we can continue walking together on the journey of caring for your skin and your body after 60 in a way that respects biology, gentle, realistic, and sustainable. Thank you for staying until the end of the video.